Hey guys, welcome to Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkovic. Today we're going to talk about going in and hunting blind in the dark. Hunting blind, what I mean by that is that's when you're going to walk into a spot that you've never been at before. So you find a spot on a map, never have been in there before, never stepped foot in there, and you are going to walk into that spot with your stand on your back or your saddle in your bag or whatever you're doing, your mobile setup, and you are going to climb that tree and then hunt on the spot, come back out, and then disappear out of there again. But it's a fact that you've never been there before, which makes it exciting, adventurous, very high odds because you've never ruined that area or screwed it up before, but also very difficult to do. So I'm going to show you how that's done. First off, there's a few items that are mandatory that you are going to need, especially to do this in the dark, because doing it in a morning hunt is the hardest way to do it, yet it's one of the most successful ways I found. When I hunt every one of these out-of-state hunts or out-of-state places that I hunt at, my number one method that seems to really pay off for me is that night before when I'm sitting in my wall tent in my sleeping bag, I'm looking at my phone or on my laptop and I'm looking at maps of the place, Google Earth and all that stuff, and I'm figuring out where I want to go based on the wind direction, and then I pick a spot and I go, okay, that's where I'm going. I turn the phone off, I lay down, I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning and I head into that spot. Have never ever been there before. I know nothing about it. And then I get there in the dark like this out here. I got a spotlight on me right now, but I'll take you out there and show you. But I get out there and then I have to solve that riddle and find a place to set up a stand in the dark and make sure I have shooting lanes, make sure I'm in the right location, make sure I didn't screw it up. There's a lot of variables that come to this. First off, there are a few things that are mandatory in order to do this going into a blind spot place you've never been before in the morning. One of them is going to be a GPS or your cell phone. I'm recording this actually on my cell phone, but you're going to need something that's going to tell you where that spot is so you can get into it and you can pick your exact route so that you head in to make sure that you do not walk over places that you shouldn't be. I recommend sticking for blind morning spots to be something that is some kind of a funnel, a pinch point, transition line, point, something that's a known functional spot that you can get into. Don't just randomly walk around in the woods hoping to find a deer trail. Have a destination in mind due to topography and terrain that you know that's going to channel the deer through that area. Hillsides, benches, saddles, creek heads and header roundabouts, and you name it, all kinds of different terrain features. Find those so that you're heading into the right place. It's going to give you that advantage, and you can find it in the morning, in the dark, and you can set up on there. So that's what you want to do first off. So a GPS or a compass is going to make that easier. I will have a link down below for you to some GPSs and compasses, or GPSs that I highly recommend, and a couple compasses. I've done videos on these GPSs. Maybe I'll even link those at the end for you. We'll see here, but that is a mandatory deal. If you are in a place that has cell service all the time, great, use that. But don't be fooled. If you've never been there before, good odds are that you don't have cell service. I've been in places in Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Alabama, and Georgia that were not far from cities that you would think would be perfect, and then you get down one hill and you've lost all cell service, and now you have no idea to know exactly where you are. You might only be 200 yards away, but you have no idea in the dark where that exact spot is. So I prefer GPSs. I very seldom rely on my cell phone. I know a lot of you guys use like Hunt on X and stuff like that. It's all great, and you can download that stuff for GPS. I just haven't got around to doing it. But for me personally, I stick with a GPS unit. I really like the Garmin 64. Compass wise, I have a little bitty one on here, a little Brunton compass. It's a fantastic one for like $5, so it's a great option. But the compass is great because a lot of times your GPS is going to get you close to there, but and it may get you there, but it might pass you by. There are times where your GPS gets a little confused, and it's nice to look at it and go, okay, well, I just got to head straight south. And you can pull your compass up and go, oh, south, okay, right there. And you can move over to it. So I like having the compass because it saves you as you get closer to your stand. When I'm about 50 yards away from that stand, I can actually get a pretty good bearing on it, and it's seeing it, and I can go, okay, that's straight south. I can look and go, all right, if I head straight south, I can work with that GPS in conjunction and make sure I'm straight on it rather than having to hold this thing like this all the time and step by step, because it's a little slow as you turn it or move it for it to catch up to itself. So the compass saves you from making circles or missing it and getting into where you think deer are going to be, and you're going to ruin your shooting spots. So I like having a compass and I like having a GPS. Notice I am wearing a headlight. This is an amazing headlight. I've done reviews on this too. I will link it down below for you, and I will also link a couple others. This is a Phoenix. I don't remember the model number of it, but it's amazing. I used it all last year. This is the I think it's the 50MR or something, or HM50R. This is my absolute favorite headlamp I've ever worn. Absolutely incredible. I will also put some links to some Zebralight headlights on there for you too, so you have those, because they're incredible headlights also. So I'll put some of that stuff down below for you. Headlamp, high power headlamp, mandatory. I also recommend even a good high power flashlight. This thing will make a tremendous difference, which you will see in this video. But having some serious light power to do this going in the morning in a darkened setting up, mandatory. The other thing I think is a vital thing that you should have is going to be a saw. Granted, here in Michigan on public land, we are not allowed to trim branches. I do not very often trim branches here. I do everything I can to not have to, but a saw does come in handy. Usually when I do, it's something that's dead or it's very small, it's very minor. I'm very conscientious of that. But a saw, not only a saw is important, but a good quality saw. The reason for that is they are quieter when they cut and they require less strokes. This saw, I've done videos on this and the ARS. This is a Silky Pocket Pro. I actually don't carry this anymore. I carry the ARS saw that I did in that video. It shows that. I will link them both below. This fantastic saw. ARS, also fantastic saw, a little bit lighter, little longer blade, and and I like it better. Cuts a little bit better. But both of these are fantastic. But having a good saw with a fantastic blade means that instead of sitting there in that dead quiet at night and literally going to get through a finger-sized log or branch that's on there, you can literally just go done. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's nice, quiet, and simple. So that's the value of a good saw, is the speed and quietness and how you can get through something. I think that's a mandatory tool that you're going to need. And then your stand setup or whatever it is, that's the other thing you're going to have. So there's not a lot involved in it. Here's where it gets tricky. When you get to the site, which I'm going to take you out there and show you if you're part of my bow hunting course. If you're in my bow hunting course, I'm going to take you out and explain this and show you all the detail. But if you're not, you're going to get this little shorthand version of it right here, which is when you get out there, you have basically 3 options to pick the tree and hang the stand in. 3 options that you can use. One of them is that you can get to the tree and figure out where the deer are doing and what they are, and then know that, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is the tree I'm looking for. And then walk out away from that tree directly across where those deer are going to be, and then look back and try to pick a tree that's going to give you the best shooting lanes and give you options with your headlamp, which will light all that up if you have a good headlamp. You will pick what's going to be the best route for your tree for you to be in to be able to get the shot opportunities to there. It's not a great way, it's not a bad way, but it's one of the ways. The other way is to actually climb the tree, and as you're climbing, pick the tree you want. As you're actually going up that tree, using your headlamp on a high power, picking your shooting lanes as you go. You may realize, hey, if I go up here, I kind of lost it. I can't shoot there, and I can't shoot there, and I can't shoot there. But when I was back down 2 feet, I can shoot this, this, and this, and this. So I'm going to stay there. It might only be 12 feet in a year. It might only be 8 feet in a year. Doesn't matter. You're there for one opportunity. And once daylight comes, if you need to reposition, you can. But you have to make that call as you're climbing that tree. And I can't tell you how many times I've climbed up in a tree, then daylight gets there, and then I'm sitting there going, God, I should have been in that one right over there. I will yank my stuff down and then shoot over there and shoot right back up that tree. Knowing your mobile system like the back of your hand and being able to get up and down, get up a tree, and and I can do it in under 5 minutes. Now it's 4.5 minutes. If you can do it in, you can do it in 10 minutes. That's only 10 minutes just going to take you. It takes you, say, 6 minutes down, 10 minutes there. You're looking at 15, 16 minutes to reposition. Okay, so it gives you that option to do that. But those are your 2 of your 3 options. 1, walk around the area out there, know that you're going to send it up, but send it up in a shooting lane where you're going to be able to shoot these animals before they hit it. If you want to, it's not the best option. And it's the one I use the least amount of time. Usually I'm either climbing up that tree and analyzing everything and picking my windows as I'm going, and then set my tree height based on that. The other option is to get right there and be next to that tree and have that stand and everything on your back and wait till gray light sets in. As soon as gray light hits, you can then you get a good visual of the area, almost like daylight, and you can see what tree is going to be best and immediately go to it. 5 minutes later, be up there set up and hunting. That's the method I do a lot of the times. It's got a lot of advantages to it, but it's also got some disadvantages too, because you are moving right at gray light. It's a prime time for deer movement, but I'm willing to give it up sometimes to be able to pick that perfect tree and have to move less and mess around with things less. But it is tricky. The reason that gray light works better than your headlamp is your headlamp is going to reflect off of the branches. So when we go out there and I show this to you, if you're in a bow hunting course, I'm going to show this to you. And when I do, you're going to see in that headlamp all the reflection that comes off of these branches and how hard it actually is to determine where you can and can't shoot through from the ground. Now, once you're up higher and you're going up the tree, you can see better on your way out, but it is a gamble. When I do that, there are times that I start climbing that tree and I'm like, God, I got nothing here. I got nothing. And I climb all the way back down, move over 10 yards to a different tree, and then shoot up that one. And then again, picking my line as I'm going, which is why the method I use more often than not is get right there in that area. Sorry, not sure what happened. My phone kind of went out of focus on me there. I was having to look over and it wasn't focused. But point being that doing it in gray light is a great way to do it. It does have some, everything has disadvantages, but that's the way I usually end up doing it the most, is get in there, be set, be ready, and then have my stand, everything on my back, just waiting that last 10 minutes for gray light to set in. Gray light sets in and I go, boom, here it is, and I shoot up that tree and get myself in position really quick. But like I said, I'm going to show you that. But understanding that reflection off the branch, it gets hard to do this. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. But when you start doing it, you realize that it's a very powerful method to be able to get out there and do some hunting and get you into some places without having to go in there and scout. The worst thing you can do is walk into an area in an afternoon, scout the whole thing, and then go, oh, this is great, I'm going to hunt it tomorrow, and then hang a stand and then walk back out and not come back to it till the next day. You have already ruined it. The element of surprise is gone. Every deer from the second you left there is coming through that area and knows you're there. You want the element of surprise. One of the best ways to do that is going in blind, and that means, a lot of people say, well, you can't do it in the morning. I'm here to tell you, you most definitely can. Use the tools I just showed you, the tactics I explained to you. If you are part of the bow hunting whitetails course, we're going to right now we're going to go spend a half hour and I'm going to take you in depth in this and show you all the different ways and break it down so you see it firsthand on video and understand what we're talking about. For those of you that aren't in the course, like I said, this is the tactics you want to focus on. These are the ways you want to go about it, and you can do it, and it is amazing. You will absolutely enjoy it. Just be prepared to maybe possibly have to move once in a while. If you're doing it, if you're not waiting until gray light. Gray light's a gold mine. But you give up a little bit there too. If it's an area open enough and you're feeling confident enough by the tree you're in, then you're gold. Just shoot up that tree and be ready. But don't be afraid to. Stick to the funnels, the transition lines, and the known topography features. Get in there. Figure it out right there with your headlamp. Get yourself up in a tree and be ready for that morning to start off. So there you go. All right, if you're in the course, stick around. We're going to go do this right now. Rest of you guys, thanks for watching.